2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from, plus qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Hondas, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown Shoe Fit. Now, through October 31st, take $15 off any regular priced fall shoe and boots. Brands like Keen, Obos, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale that you've all been waiting for. So get down to Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a slight chance of showers this morning. Otherwise, decreasing clouds throughout the day. An afternoon high around 67. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 46. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return. Will be breezy with a high around 81. And meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and proud to be involved in our community. Property tax relief is important to every family. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history, and I will continue to advocate for property tax relief. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th. Paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's get it, baby. It is Wednesday. It has been a busy week, and it'll be a busy week going forward. I'm going to see some football this weekend. We'll talk about that with the coach here in a minute. Talk about some of the things that are happening in football, and he's the right person for it. But before we get into that and bring him in, 402-464-5685. Start our Heyman text line if you want to be a part of what we are doing. We invite you in. You're welcome. Come on in. Come hang out. Questions to the text line if you want. You'll follow on the live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961. If you're nasty, jump over and you can pay attention to what we're doing and be a part of it as well. It's become such a big part of what we do, that introduction, connection, etc. Setting the tone, setting the table, setting the standard for how we're going to do the next hour of sports radio here on The Ticket. And to do so, you go to one of the great voices to ever grab a microphone. Harrison, if you would, please.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea, With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash with a silver hat about his head and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Let's bring him in.
Hey, DP, we good?
We good.
We good? We good?
That's how you know when you ask the people, you go, hey, we good.
Yeah, baby. What you see is what you get.
Hey, man, are we good? It's been a spectacular. Got to spend some time with Barry this past weekend while I was in the DMV. Shout out to your magnificent brother, Edwin Thompson, coach, baseball coach at Georgetown University and the Hoyas and what he's building. I got to watch some fall baseball as the Hoyas took on Rutgers. So I got a sneak peek at some Big Ten baseball and what it was going to be like. But I'm always thoroughly impressed by time spent with Coach Thompson, one or two or both. And it's spectacular to watch them. Tell me, please explain to folks who your brother is and how this thing happens for him to find his way in a space that's not normally. There aren't a lot of folks that look like your brother as a head baseball coach in a P5 conference. But who is Edwin Thompson? Give us a little bit of that.
Wow. He's the best brother in the world. Let's start with that. He's the best brother in the world. He was born into a family of football players. He kind of played it, but from early on, he just kind of took to swinging things, whether it was hockey or golf or baseball. And baseball kind of became his thing, however it happened. There's a north-south split in my family, so it's tough to explain, but my dad remarried and divorced. So Edwin basically grew, even though he was born in Virginia, literally grew up in Maine. And so to add to the rareness, right, he's in Maine and he decides to pick up baseball and does pretty well and just keeps going, wanted to go to Howard. Went there, their program Foley, went to University of Maryland, transferred to Weber down at Florida, did really well. And then he immediately knew he wanted to go into coaching. So he started the substitute coaching, teaching, coaching thing. And he was locked in on the coaching deal. And as all coaches will know, he kind of took that climb at a Division III directional school, University of Maine at Farmington, and working his way through there. And right from the beginning, he always had a template that was bigger than where he was. So he was very active in recruiting, even though he was at a small Division III school. He caught the attention of Bates College. They wanted him to be the head coach, but they needed him to coach football. So he coached football and baseball, and he led Bates to the best season that they had in their 150-year history. And then soon after that, and by the way, when he was at Bates, he was always recruiting nationally. And so when he would go to an event, a Duke would come up and they'd say, what are the three schools you're looking at? And they would say, the Duke guy would say, I'm looking at Stanford, looking at Vanderbilt and Bates. And they go, Bates. So he kind of got the attention of some people because he was getting attention to players. He moved to Duke, was there, had a great kind of mentors or apprenticeship, I think, at Duke. And then from there, he was really ready to be a head coach. And he got a job, head coach. He went to Georgia State. Then he got a head coaching job at Eastern Kentucky. And he did some things there. Again, he's always never been right where he was. So even when he was at Eastern Kentucky, he was busy raising money. He raised like $5 million, $7 million, that type of thing. And then the Georgetown job came open. He took it in the COVID year. He had seen his players, I think, 2 weeks before the season, other than Zoom stuff. and they started off and won 6 games that first year. And then again, they didn't have an on-field campus, but that stuff never stopped my brother. He reached out, he found a way to play at Nationals Park. And then through that, he explored some relationships with Capital One. And then now that's their home. He's always recruited nationally. So he had players from Stanford, had players from Lafayette. Jake Voss just went to Lafayette, went to Georgetown. He's got 3 degrees and is now pitching for the Blue Jays. So he's set up a system where you can come to Georgetown, get a great degree, and if you're that type of guy, you can go on and play professional football. I hope I've done him justice. Probably could take another 45 minutes, but he's a good person, good guy. He's the type of guys that his players remember him. They still connect. Some of them are coaching. Stays in touch with his play. He's a really, really good coach. Really good coach.
Barry, what are the traits that make him the good coach? Because listen, to be able to transition across the country in various portals and different spaces and have success and keep moving forward and up, what is it about him? What are the traits as a human, as a coach, that make your brother so successful?
Well, from the outside, he's good at listening. He's always reaching out and talking to other people. He reaches out to me, and he'll have coaches talks with me, even though I'm in the football world, he's in the baseball world. So that's been going on for a long time. But I would say that on a macro level, he's just never a coach where wherever he is, he doesn't kind of look at it and say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do that. He kind of looks at it and says, okay, how can I find a way to get this done? How can I find a way to get that done? He's been more of that type of coach. And I think that's held him in good stead. The volume of money that he's raised while he's been at Georgetown has helped them endow a couple additional scholarships. They're doing all this stuff, consecutive 30-win seasons, a game away from the championship game. They're doing all that stuff, and they were on the low end of the scholarship deal. But he's reached out to some alumni and pulled them in. They kind of believe what he's doing. So, it would have been easy for a coach to say, well, we don't have an on-field facility. The players don't have priority, all that. But he's just not that type of guy. And I think, I guess to sum it up, he's a guy that always has a vision. I've talked about that several times. There's no leadership without vision. So when he lands somewhere, he kind of has a vision of what this team's going to be, how it's going to compete. And then he just goes out and works hard and makes it happen. And he does a real good job of attracting the right kind of staff to put around the players. He's just a really wonderful coach.
Barry, in the college football game, and in this era of transfer portal, NIL, all of the catchphrases and letters that jump up and try to steal the news as the thing that's driving college football right now. Right now, transfer portal, NIL. Okay. All the catchphrases and easy layups of recruiting, location. Money is everything. Size. Everybody has to be bigger. Everybody has to be faster. Everybody has to be stronger in order to compete in these tough conferences. It's really tough to compete and win games. But somehow, Barry Thompson, there are teams who have figured out how to win football games that don't normally stand at the top of the ranking system, and they don't get notoriety and exposure.
Right.
Talk to me, kind sir. That Liberty,
yes,
has having one of the great runs in college football.
Yes.
Army is in the top 25. Navy in the top 25. Indiana, football powerhouse in the top. Listen, undefeated, winning games. Pitt. We haven't talked about Pitt as being a football power since the days of Tony Dorsett and Dan Marino.
Right.
We don't give them that sort of love. It doesn't happen for them. Oh, lets me further know. Iowa State is undefeated and figuring out a way to win football games. So when somebody tells me that you have to have all of the water cooler talking points.
Yes.
To win football games.
Yes.
I say, bah, humbug.
well, two things on that. And I've never walked in the, FBS shoes. So there's a set of dynamics, but we're just talking, you and me are just spitballing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that young people and people in general always run to good, like sprint to good.
Mm-hmm.
And they are quick to recognize what's good, what has integrity, and that's a huge thing. And you got to remember in this football thing, there's a lot of talk about height and weight and size and speed, and that is extremely important, extremely important. But you cannot lose sight that it's a people business. Those are human beings that are performing that stuff. And so when you treat people the correct way, you have some integrity in what you're doing, you're honest with folks, that type of stuff, you're going to attract some really good people because good people tend to run to good things. Now, the other part of this portal, where everybody's been saying, it doesn't teach them resilience and they're just going the easy route and this and that. Well, those other schools have been real quiet because they hadn't said anything.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've been able to benefit from is slowly collecting another level of talent that they wouldn't normally see. And what I think you're beginning to see the trickle down effect of the talent being reshuffled because it doesn't have to sit behind somebody for 3 years, right? That it can go somewhere and maybe get on the field in a year or so, or a year and a half or so. And it's bringing development back into the game, I think, which was originally started by Wake Forest. That was their model. They were taking these players that people were kicking the tires on, but they knew that could play. And they said, hey, we just give this guy a year or two, let him understand what college football is about. He'll perform, right? So that's been their model. And I think you've seen other coaches now move in, spot the opportunity. Like, that guy's in the portal? Yeah, I'll take him. That guy's in the portal? No problem. Come here, right? And then at the end of it, you can't be a salesman. You got to be a leader, right? And you got to be up front and honest with them and say, hey, this is the deal if you come here. This is a deal. And you can't break that deal, right? Once you say this is a deal, you agree to it. That's where the integrity part comes in. And there are a lot of shenanigans. I'm telling you, I won't use any words, but I'm telling you, I'm close to my quarterbacks. And I got a lot of them. I got a fair amount of them. I got 25, 26 guys that are playing college football, all different levels. And there are some shenanigans that go on. And so you can easily understand why a player may want out of one situation and just wants to go play football, right? And I think slowly the message is getting across that if you're a player and you're looking at a school, it may not be in your best interest to chase that offer, right? It's in your better interest to find, hey, I don't need to play right away, but is there a path for me on the field, right? Is there a way that I can kind of work my way to that? Because if you don't, you wind up at, the biggest college you can find, and then you're just in the back of the pack. You're going to meetings 20 hours a week. You're practicing. You're grinding your behind off, and you're not moving up the depth chart at all. And you don't know when they're going to move. And when you think you're going to move, they go to the portal and get somebody else because they're transactional. So you got one end of the business that's becoming transactional. And in my opinion, you can't complain if the other party is transactional. You're transactional, so why wouldn't they be? And now you've got these other spots where they're saying, hey, we're not transactional. Come in here. We'll treat you the right way. We think you can play big-time football. Let's get after it.
There's so much in that. And when you say shenanigans, Barry Thompson, without naming programs, we're not talking about, I'm not asking you to name programs and finger point and all that. I'm just trying to give the listeners some idea of the definition of football, college football shenanigans, the moving coconuts, as they were, where they will take a diamond.
I'm gonna give you two general, and I think these are general examples that could have happened to anybody. So I'm not going to mention names, but these dynamics could have happened to anybody. Let's say that you're in a spot and you've got a guy in front of you, and he's just going to be the guy. I mean, it's, there's no question. You've made a deal that you're going to wait your turn. That guy finally finishes his eligibility. You step up, and the season ends, and it's finally your part.
Mm-hmm.
2 days after that happens, two of the coaches from your side of the ball leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, holy crap. All right, what's going on? So then you're hoping that one guy gets a position, the other guy that you didn't want gets a position, and you go and talk to him to find out, hey, coach, how are we going to do this? And he tells you, we're going in the portal. We got a guy coming in. You're going to have to compete for your job. In that world, that is in essence telling you, we don't really think much of you. Mm-hmm. Now, there's no kind of fighting through that, right? When you've been in a program 3 years, this guy takes the job and he looks you in the eye and says, yes, yeah, you've done everything, but I'm going in the portal for a guy, which means you don't go in the portal for a guy to sit on the bench. I'm going in the portal for a guy, and I'm bringing in a freshman. That's a situation I'm sure it's happened hundreds of times. So what do, right? Then the other situation is sometimes a decision to play or not play is suddenly based on nothing but a judgment. So in these programs, they measure everything. They have the catapult deal. They're tracking reps and, how many tackles and missed tackles and how many completions and incompletions, who shows up, are you improved every workout, everything, right? They're measuring everything. And then suddenly your position coach comes in the room and says, we're starting the other guy. And you're going, what? We're starting the other guy. And the environment around there is such that the players know that the one thing that they should never do is to complain about playing time, right? And so they have this it is tough inside these programs. It is tough. And I'll finish the thought. From a quarterback perspective, I was one of those guys when you would see a team up by 50, you'd say, hey, why don't they take him out? It's a smart thing to do. Well, now being exposed to what these guys have to do to get on the field and stay on the field, I know why they never come out of the game. They don't ever want to come out of the game. Mm-hmm. There'll be no Wally Pip here for you guys who are old Yankee fans, but go ahead.
It's that thing, right? That, listen, it took a lot for me to get here, to get noticed.
Yeah.
To get in a position to get noticed, to get in position to get recruited, to get in a position to negotiate a deal, mm-hmm. To agree to that deal and outwork the deal, mm-hmm. and then have that deal pulled from under you. And I think it's this thing that we talk about, that everything in college football is either coached or learned.
Right.
You say allowed or coached.
Right.
And that behavior, the young people watch the grown-ups.
Mm-hmm.
They watch them. And if the grown-ups say, hey, we're here for now, we're not here for long.
That's right.
And then wonder why young people then say, oh, well, I guess that's how we're doing business.
Yeah.
Because I cannot give permanent loyalty to temporary agents.
Yep.
And that's where college football is. But there are people who work from integrity and character and building, and guess what? They're not in the transfer portal NIL business.
Yeah, they're not.
They are military academies. Barry Thompson, we're going to talk about how are they winning? How in the world? Let me ask the question properly.
Yes.
How in the wide world of sports are Navy and Army undefeated? We will ask that and get a response from Barry Thompson here, one-on-one, 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings, your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we want to thank all of our customers for a great September. And now it's time for our annual Halloween sales event happening right now at Coppell. Get 0% financing at Coppell. You heard right, 0% financing on select new models. Also, huge discounts up to $11,500 are available. It's our annual Halloween sales event. Get $11,500 off or 0% financing at Coppell. So please stop on by or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did 0% with roof credit.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit LOVB.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as painting and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's most dependable side-by-side, the Mule Pro, built to take on your most demanding days. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of October. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Stop by every Saturday for their Husker tailgate with free food, drinks, and games.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bozin, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
the captain, Vershawn Jackson.
The spitting incident.
Oh, the spitting incident.
How bad was that? And do he deserve to miss more games?
I think it's despicable to spit on another human
Lucky
being.
this guy had a shield on his face. What happened? The guy from Oregon, the receiver.
Yeah, receiver.
Spit in the guy's face from Ohio State. Why did he do that?
Man, you don't spit on a guy.
Back and forth.
You don't spit on a guy. I would never do that again. I said again.
I was going to ask you about that from one spitter to another spitter.
No, come on, guys. Listen, guys.
Years ago.
27 years ago.
Yeah.
Guys, don't hold that against me.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to One-on-One Wednesday night. 93.7 The Ticket, DP. Harrison Arns manning the ones and twos. Barry Thompson breaking it down for us. Coach Barry Thompson, kind sir. At the time of this recording, Navy, Army, Liberty, BYU, undefeated. And yes, it gets interesting because for whatever reason, Army and Navy continually schedule Notre Dame. Right? So that's on the schedule. And Notre Dame, who, again, falls in the category of, yeah, they have some talented players, but undefeated is a thing. And they're one loss away. They're still in the playoff contention.
Yeah, that's right. When you look at
what
Navy,
are they doing though? What are they doing? What are they doing?
Let's take the Navy example because I pulled up some things here, and I just wanted to see if my mind was right.
Yep.
When you look at Navy from about 2002, 2003 on, you can see that the expectation was an 8 or 9 win season. Now, when it got below that, there's a string of that 3 win, 4 win, 4 win. There was a change that was made, right? So you can tell the expectations, and you look at that span of time, they were regularly an 8, 9 win team. So first of all, ask yourself, how much do you have to step things up to get from 8 to 9 to 9 to 10? Not much, right? And again, this trickle down thing of this portal, how many times are they in the market for a kid that is looking at the Naval Academy and then maybe looking at maybe Vanderbilt or maybe looking at Notre Dame, right? And they didn't get them. Well, now they're in the market to get them, right? And Army, as quiet as it's kept, still has that prep school model, right? The old prep school model where you could have a guy that maybe he wasn't ready to get in school, right? He could do a prep school year at that school that they have and then step into the program. So what I'll say about what I've said about these, you see these teams is one, people run to good. And two, these guys have brought development back into the picture, right? Guys actually making them better once they get there. And so you put those two things together, maybe you're getting a kid or two that you wouldn't normally get. You're able to get somebody out of the portal, 1 or 2. You have your development model in place. Why wouldn't you win games?
Through all of it, they're positions that carry more weight literally and not figuratively, right? That, hey, fullbacks matter.
Yes.
Nose tackles matter.
Yeah.
Special teams matter, right? That you can get people to fly down on the punch, do their job, stay in the lane, be disciplined, be on time, be on purpose.
Right.
And none of them are 5-star athletes.
Right.
5-star humans.
Yes.
Not 5-star football players.
Right. And when you look at those positions, right, you're talking a matter of inches and a few pounds, right? That he's 6'3" and they want him to be 6'4". He's 6'3" and he weighs 275 and they want him to be 325 pounds in the big man world. That can happen, right? And so then we'll say, well, we'll take 6'3", 275 or whatever it is. We can make that work. We have time right? Because we can put 10 or 15 pounds on him. He can, for our level of competition. I think the other thing that's interesting about these programs is it brings something back in. When you're watching big time football, you have a tendency to say, hey, they should run this play, or they should do this, or they need to run this defense. The other thing that has to happen in programs like this is they have to have a defined way that they're going to win a football game. And then the third layer to what I've been saying is that now you're matching talent to what you want them to do, right? And so you get better at doing that. And now you got a team that takes the field, and we can go. And obviously, you got to be strong in the line, right? You got to be strong. Think about how many linebackers get passed up because maybe they're 225 or 230, but they're not 240, 245. I mean, how many good linebackers get passed up, right? We were talking about Urlacher a while ago, yes?
Yep.
Right? Who was a free safety, yes?
Yep.
And it was at New Mexico. Is that right? New Mexico?
Yep.
Like how many big schools passed over him because he was too lean? You see what I'm saying? And I think these schools are just reaping the benefits of that. I think you'll see it trickle down. I think you're going to see some outstanding Division II play. You're going to see more players come out of there. And if you're really a hardcore football fan, you're going to see some outstanding Division III guys too come out of there. You see more of that happening.
Well, there's a thing that's happening in Bloomington, Indiana, where Cignetti speaks to it in full, with full amplification and says, listen, I win.
Yes.
Google me. And he then took 13 players from, I don't know, James Madison University.
Right around the DMV. Check the background.
Right around the corner, right? That you took 13 players from James Madison. And they've impacted the Big Ten so much so that Indiana is in playoff discussion.
Yeah.
So, Barry.
Let me stop you. I'll give you Justice Ellison, who I know well. Who I know well. I know Justice Ellison because
scored 2 touchdowns Saturday.
Yeah, that Justice Ellison.
Yeah,
because he was part of that Flint Hill crew that we were able to coach. We called the Dirty 30 because there were only 30 players in the total program. And you guys may be familiar with Trey Rucker, number 9 for Oklahoma State. He was part of that team. But I bring it back to how this assessment goes. I remember that there was a coach at the University of Connecticut. Think about that. Who was kicking the tires on Justice. Who wanted to know, hey, how did he practice? Now, my nickname for Justice was hard work because that's all he ever did every time. Like if you wanted a half-speed rep, you'd have to take Justice off the field. But anyway, he winds up at Wake Forest, right? And then now he's having a starting role there. So to think that you would look at a kid like that and you're at the University of Connecticut and you don't pull the trigger on him, like he's not automatically hitting you, this is an offerable kid. Nah, we're looking for somebody else. Okay, give me a guy in this class that's better than Justice as a human being, as a teammate, and as a productive runner. Give me a guy. I mean, it's going to be a short list.
Right. I mean, that was the thing. Like sitting down at Big Ten Media, he came through, and it was so much joy sitting at the table and listening to a young man celebrate being magnified and amplified because there are people that told him no.
Yes.
They told him no. And you and I have had this discussion. And it's mind-blowing to me how many players are not offered by said schools.
Yeah.
I won't name them because I don't know. But, and then proceed to spank your bottom.
Yes.
Like,
happens all the time.
Right. Like to ask the question, if your school is not recruiting the DMV, how purposeful are you in winning and getting the right talent? People that fit into your culture, people that are willing to work hard, people who have the talent, they're coachable, great families. Like there's a bit of mind-blowing part of it to me that there are people like the people in Nebraska could call Barry Thompson. Hey man, you got anybody?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the names can come up.
If I spot a real one, I'll tell you.
Right.
I mean they're around here. I think the thing with our area is one, it's not really known for like football and that type of thing, but The Big Ten for years, as we know, has come in at various different times. Last time Illinois had their big run.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the coach? Ron? What was his name? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
He
recruited heavy.
Yes, he plucked people out of DMV and DC left and right and got them out there. Ohio State has a history of coming in and pick them. So they'll come in and pluck them out, and they'll put them in, and people just miss the overall. The one thing our area kind of lacks, I think, is those 3 or 4 schools where it's easy for the coaches to kind of go to. You have the WCAC, right? And that's whatever you want to pick over there. Some very talented players. But there's all these other schools like Battlefield. They have some players. I think some schools have discovered them. We have Gainesville. We have Patriot, where there's some guys.
Centerville, Stonebridge. There were places that
produced by the way, Stonebridge is a good point. Kedrick Golston, former Skin, is a head coach there. Hasn't had a great first year, but I'm telling you, there are some bodies on that field that next year you'll be talking a lot about. So it's those types of things that players, I think coaches miss.
Yeah, and it is frustrating to know that there's talent out there.
Mm-hmm.
There are coaches out there who could help programs actually grow and develop and elevate themselves. But hey, we can't force anybody to do that thing, and it's mind blowing again that the Dirty 30, the Dirty 30 had just Harrison. You could have went grocery shopping for football players amongst the 30. Didn't have to look hard because all the stuff was Whole Foods and it was all healthy and good.
And
you
by the way,
walked to the store and took anything from the store, and it was going to be good.
And by the way, Coach, let me not leave out one important guy. There's a guy named Jordan Houston. Jordan is now at Marshall, and they're beginning to use Jordan the way that he can be used, and you're going to start to see his name pop up a lot too. He was part of that crew with Justice and Trey. As well as some other really good players. But yeah, he was another guy they kind of kicked the tires on, went down to NC State, and whatever the thing was, he got in the rotation. They were using him very differently. And now at Marshall, you're starting to see him be used in a way that really accents what he can do. But again, a player. Here's the great thing about these guys, though. They continue to fight. And despite the misjudgments, they do find a way to rise to the top. So I'm real happy for Justice, and it's been amazing to watch his maturity. And I think we're going to hear a lot more about Jordan Houston, and then you have Trey Record at Oklahoma State's doing well too.
Oh, by the way, who was the kid that led Maryland to a comeback win over USC?
Billy Edwards Jr. I talked to Billy. There's a couple of Northern Virginia kids on the team. One is a linebacker named Caleb Wheatland, and there's been a couple times when I've watched my quarterbacks have kind of that moment on the field. Last year, it was Tony Muskett. He was on the road against UNC. They were ranked 10th in the nation at the time, and he took them down. It was that moment, right, where big play you dream about. And then Billy had his moment with the flex and the little swerve that he did, and they rushed the field. And I talked to him Sunday afternoon, and I said, hey, that was one of those things you dream about. And he said, yeah, after they went to treatment, him and Caleb were just sitting in the locker room saying, you can't, can you believe what happened? And I ruined the moment and said, yeah, what's next? And he goes, Minnesota. But Billy's another outstanding football mind, comes from a coaching family. And if you were ever all anybody needs to do with him when it comes to drafting is just sit down and talk to him. They don't need to see him throw. They don't need to see him run. They don't need to see him lift. Just sit down and talk to him, get the chalk out, and you will draft him.
Keep saying it, that there's work behind all of it, man. We'll throw it to break. We'll come back. We'll close out one-on-one with Barry Thompson. Barry Thompson, the question, what are you cooking? We'll get all of that here
Something
on
good
when we come back.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bozin, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown Shoe Fit. Now, through October 31st, take $15 off any regular priced fall shoe and boots. Brands like Keen, Obos, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale that you've all been waiting for. So get down to Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q. League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, take over $11,000 off a 2024 Ford F-150. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1004296, MSRP of $66,645. Must finance with Ford Motor Company and have a qualifying trade and approved credit. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/13/24. See delivery details.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's most dependable side-by-side, the Mule Pro, built to take on your most demanding days. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of October. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Stop by every Saturday for their Husker tailgate with free food, drinks, and games.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a slight chance of showers this morning. Otherwise, decreasing clouds throughout the day. An afternoon high around 67. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 46. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return. It'll be breezy with a high around 81. And meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment. One-on-one. Barry Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Question for you, sir.
Yes.
What are you cooking?
Tuscan bean soup. You know, it's that time of year you think of soups and stews. 1,000 different recipes out there, so just Google whichever one makes you feel good. But it starts out with what's called a mirepoix. It's kind of a fancy name for carrots, celery, and onions, certain proportion. We're going to get about 4 ounces of pancetta. I guess bacon would be fine. Pound of those cannelli beans, maybe soak those overnight. About six cups of stock would be enough. A little bit of red pepper, excuse me, some olive oil. And we're going to take a whole head of garlic and kind of slice the top, just the top of it. Pour a little oil, a little salt and pepper, put that in a foil, wrap it up in foil, put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes or so, because we're going to roast that garlic. If you've never had it, it's a really sweet, delicious tasting thing. Put the pancetta in, a little bit of oil, let it crisp up, rinse its fat. The mirepoix goes in on top of that, go till it's soft. And then at that point, it's time to put everything in. Put the beans in. We'll put the stock in. We're going to put in 2 kind of sprigs of rosemary, maybe a big bay leaf if you don't have a big one, 2 small ones. Put that in. Let that cook until your beans really, really get soft. And then, of course, you'll need a little bit of a crusty loaf of bread. So you'll toast that on the side. Get that head of garlic out. At the end, you want to squeeze that roasted garlic into the Tuscan bean soup and stir it up. And if you like it whole, keep your beans whole, but you can either use a immersion blender or you can mash it up against the side to give it a little consistency that you like. Drizzle a little olive oil on the top and sit down with that spoon, a piece of crusty bread, and have yourself a good old soup.
Yeah, you just warm the hearts of Nebraskans from one corner of the state to the other, and giving them an idea about how to put this thing together and get it done. Barry, it is interesting in that. Okay, so we exchange items via social media on several occasions. So Barry sends me this video of a guy who's talking about the change in the landscape of college athletics, and that leverage. Coaches' leverage has been thrown out the window because of transfer portal. Barry, break this down for me in a way that makes sense to me, because quite frankly, it seems to me that right?
Let me start with the big point is, so in this video, there's a coach, he's on some talk show, and he's just decrying the portal, and he's saying that, and he keeps talking about that it takes away the leverage from his standpoint that a coach has. So if you need to jump on somebody's butt, if you need him to, you need him to ram into somebody and he's not doing it, or he needs it. Like, he's saying that part of the game is gone. And as far as he was concerned, if I heard it right, DP, he's saying that it's gone to crap because you don't have the kind of whip to make those people do some things that maybe they're not doing the way they should do them, or not doing what they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I kind of, I sent it to you because I know you would kind of laugh about it a little bit. Again, I've never walked in those FBS shoes before, but I just know that, for instance, at Indiana, that's not going on. I know at Navy, that's not going on, right? That John Thompson said the motivation is in the choosing, right? You choose the right people. You don't have to have a lot of those conversations, right? You're talking about when you wind up, and he was decrying this idea of leverage. So think about that. You're a college player, and there's a coach out there who wants to maintain leverage on you to force you to do certain things. You could understand how maybe some people might not like that work environment, right? And if you're a coach and that's all you were relying on to get players to do what you want to do is leverage and let's say it, fear, right? Then that is a tactic that just doesn't have a long shelf life. It just doesn't.
It was the thing that jumped out to me, that there are too many people speaking out that there's only one way to lead. Yeah. And there's only one way to coach. And it is straight through the wall, anger, fist to the sky, voice at 10. And the reality is I know better. That if I know what I'm coaching, I know what I'm doing, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be done. So, Barry, I appreciate the fact that you understood that. And I felt less guilty about it. So, kind sir.
And real quick thought as we get out here, it's funny about the NIL stuff. I keep hearing people complain about the money that players are getting. But the same people, I didn't hear them complain about the money that coaches were getting. And I didn't hear them complain about the revenue that the schools are generating. It just seems kind of weird that the only way the game's going to go to pot is if the players have status and they get paid. I'm not saying it's the best system in the world, but, man, don't tell me that this game's going to heck just because you're paying some players. Let's figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Barry Thompson, appreciate you. Love you, brother.
All right,
we'll do it again next week.
Yes, sir.
Don't go anywhere. Ticket Weeknights keeps it moving. Yeah. Be good.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.